League of Legends is a long-running franchise filled to the brim with lore that I can't even begin to understand in the 3 weeks that they took to release this amazing new prequel series, Arcane. My name is Deepcut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and today let's discuss if Arcane is the kind of series you have to have played League of Legends in order to enjoy, and to try and explain the ending and what it may mean for future seasons. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like Arcane, as we should be having a really cool Arcane surprise coming really soon. Now, I knew absolutely nothing about Arcane before going into the first episode, other than that the creators of the show made it clear behind the scenes that their intention was to create a show for long-time League of Legends fans. As a prequel, the show has a bit of prequelitis, but in a good way. For those who don't know what prequelitis is, it is when a prequel doesn't just simply present a before story, but rather it focuses on the origins of its characters and plots with new twists and turns that the audience wouldn't expect, showing how people go from a wildly different beginning to who you know them as in the present story. The series opens with a scene of a land ravaged by war, and two characters walking through the fire and smoke. These characters are introduced to us as Vi and Powder, who longtime fans from League of Legends actually know to be Jinx, a sort of chaotic evil villain from the series, here presented as just a child. In League of Legends, there are some references to these two characters knowing each other, but it was never explored within the games as far as I have been able to tell. While we are being introduced to these two girls as sisters who do their best to take care of each other in their childhoods, this was an instant and massive reveal to fans of the game series, who had no reason to believe that they were related to each other before this moment, or that they were this particularly close. In this opening scene, we get a snapshot of what the world currently is for these characters, and across the next 3 episodes, we see this reaffirmed for us. This destructive battle, which seemingly led to the demise of Vi and Powder's parents, was instigated by Vander, a rugged fighter who was trying to bring equality between Piltover and Zaun. Piltover is a thriving metropolis of privilege and wealth, while Zaun is an undercity that has to deal with Piltover's pollution runoff and wealth hoarding. After this battle with Vander, which ultimately just led to harsher lives for the people of Zaun, he decides to take Vi and Powder under his wing as a sort of surrogate father. Flash forward a few years, and Vi has created her own ragtag group of friends that are Robin Hooding around Piltover, looking for stuff to steal from the rich to make the lives of the people of Zaun better. For people who haven't played the games, this arrangement isn't all too shocking, but for those who did play the games, it comes with a pretty big reveal. In the games, Vi is what is called an enforcer for the city of Piltover. Enforcers are something akin to police, though they are largely responsible for enforcing the status quo that has the people of Piltover being so privileged and the people of Zaun being so oppressed. And part of Vi's story will of course be how she did a 180 from fighting against the Enforcers and what they stand for to becoming one of them by the time that the main story in the game starts. The story escalates with Vi struggling to get Powder to be an efficient member of the team. She isn't just lagging behind the others in terms of skill, but she has a tendency to mess things up. The show is divided into mini arcs that release 3 episodes at a time and tend to tell a complete story within those 3 episodes that of course build into the bigger story of the season and the series as a whole. By the end of this first arc, we see Vander being kidnapped by local bad boy Silco, and Vi decides to leave Powder behind to go off and save him with her band of ragtag misfits. The interesting thing about prequels is that, if you play the games, you already know which characters have a guaranteed survival, such as Vi and Powder. When new characters are introduced, they can often be seen as expendables, as you can't kill off characters that exist later in the games, and you need someone there to kill off for dramatic effect. In this way, being a fan of the games perhaps actively hurts the viewing experience, but for people like me who had never played the game, seeing who died in this 3rd episode was a pretty big shock. Spoilers ahead, so turn back now if you're watching this without watching the show. Unless you like spoilers, in which case, enjoy. Everyone dies but Vi and Powder. All of this is thanks to Powder perfecting a cool monkey bomb that ends up blowing up everyone except for Vi and ruining her rescue mission. This probably wasn't too surprising for fans of the game, but for those of us going in blind, it balanced out the experience of the prequel by giving us stakes and surprises that we don't know the answers to, even if fans of the game likely did. It is here that Vi abandons Powder, calling her a Jinx in a very pointed way that eventually leads to Powder adopting the nickname. Powder ends up being taken in by the baddie Silco, and Vi gets captured by the enforcers and imprisoned. I did a little more research before getting to this episode, so Powder's dark moment and that beginning of her transformation to Jayce wasn't exactly a surprise to me, but for others who went in blind and had no idea who Jayce was before this moment, I'd love to know your opinions down below. Over the course of the next 6 episodes, we see the characters continue to grow and develop, with yet another time jump to help cement Powder as her new alter ego Jayce. Jayce has been driven mad by what happened with her sister, and seems to have been further pushed into insanity by Silco. Jayce has multiple voices in her head, some of which seem to be the voices of people that died because of her, even her own friends, as well as Vi, who she believed to be dead following their final confrontation years ago. In these second and third arcs, we see Vi get out of prison and, with the help of an enforcer, find and track down her sister. While she still isn't on the side of the enforcers as a whole, we can see how her relationship with this woman is starting to bridge the gap between her origins as a thief from Zaun to what we know she will be in the games, an enforcer. A large focus of the series is of course on the class struggle between Piltover and Zaun, and with the help of Vi and her new girlfriend, and Jayce, a new agreement between the people of Piltover and the Kingpin of Zaun seems like a viable option for peace, though Jayce still wants some sort of retribution for the attacks that Silco is responsible for. As the Kingpin, they can't execute him since they are trying to make peace with his crime ring, but they are willing to make peace if he gives up Jinx for execution. Vi tries to save Jayce from the dark side she is going down, and in her insanity, Jayce ends up killing Silco, the Kingpin. Even as he dies at her hands, however, he emphasizes that she is perfect the way she is, recognizing that the insanity he instilled in her, the chaotic choices she makes, are all part of what makes him love her, seemingly cementing in Jayce's mind that she doesn't have to change because she has that validation, meaning she now believes she's too far gone to return to Vi and try to be better. He insists that he was never going to sell her out for peace with Piltover and instead had other plans for the council. The story ends with Jayce blasting a cute little bomb over at the Council of Piltover, and the season ends just as the bomb is about to go off on the council. Now, for those who haven't played the game, just about anything could happen here, which honestly makes the show even more fun than for the people who played the games in my opinion. However, as I said before, some characters are known to be in the games and others not. Some characters may survive anyways to be in future seasons before dying or being written out of the plot before the main game series, so we cannot say for certain who is going to die here, but we can say for sure what characters, like Jayce and Viktor, will survive. Viktor in particular has a very different appearance in the games, one that is seemingly mechanical. While he is sick and dying at this point in the series, we have seen him get mechanical augmentations already, and it seems clear that he will continue to add machinery to himself until there's very little of what we know of him as remains. The blast could end up killing off the entire rest of the council as far as I'm aware, and even come close to fully killing Viktor. However, that isn't the only option. While these characters will likely die or be written out of the show before it catches up with the timeline of the games, as I said before, it is also possible that the characters from the show will come out of hiding within the games and reveal that they had been around the entire time, and I'm sure a lot of fans would love to see some of these new characters brought into the games in some way, but so far only time will tell. While I ultimately think the show is a great experience, even if you haven't played the games, I was really confused in the beginning and am curious what the experience of other people was who had never played the games before. Let me know your guys' opinion in a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.